Hey guys, your John coming back at you with another Diablo Immortal video. This one, I do want to go ahead and showcase another farming area because once again, we are running down to about 4 or 5 more days until the new event launches, which the double XP essentially that we're seeing is going to go away, as well as you guys, the viewers, actually suggested a better spot for farming that wasn't one of my regular go-tos. So I went and I scoped it out, I checked it out to see what it is, and you'd be curious to see what the results are. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about this location first, and then we'll talk about why I'm bringing it up. So first things first, everyone who watched my last video saw that, or last farming video, I should say, I covered an area in the library that is, I would say it's fairly well known. It's, honestly, at this point in the game, I feel like a lot of these places are well known. However, the fact that no one does like the math and shows you guys which is actually best, my goal is to kind of show you these, make a tier list, so that way you know, okay, if spot A is taken, go to spot B, so on and so forth. So last time I showed you this library of Zoltan Cool, this little box in between here. It averaged out pretty good at over 4 million XP per hour. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the other spot here. And actually, this was one that I didn't really farm. I have farmed it in the past with some teammates. However, it was one of those spots where it didn't seem as good initially. We'll say it like that. Now, obviously, now that I've done some testing on it, now we can talk about this. So you'll see here that you have this Oasis waypoint. Now, this Oasis waypoint has 4 spawns right here in this location, as well as there's another one behind here. And I think there's even one right over here that spawns as well. Now, there's a lot of them here, and this one takes a lot less effort than a lot of the other spots to farm as well. It's going to be kind of a 4-corner spawn, just like the library's farming rate, right? However, on this one, it's pretty compact, so it's really easy to get your kill streaks up. Now, this does take some effort on your half, and I will go ahead and I'm going to show the gameplay footage. And when I show you the gameplay footage, I'll go ahead and I'll talk about the math involved, because once again, I don't want anyone to think when they're watching these videos that I'm giving you these numbers with things in mind, right? So I don't want you to see my video and go, okay, well, yeah, sure, it was great. You're under server Paragon. Well, sure, I was at the time. However, I'll show you how to do the math to negate it. Obviously, as you can see right here, we have an XP rewards of 140%. So I've waited 1 additional day. I'm 3 levels below server Paragon. I actually did this intentionally so that way I would still have this boost for this video. But I'll show you how to negate that math to figure out on your own terms how to do the math to say, okay, this is what you get per minute, then per hour, so that way you know exactly how many levels you can get per hour, so on and so forth. Also, when I do these videos, I turn off my Treasure Hunter Paragon tree. Right now it is turned on, but that's because I've already recorded this content. But when I do these videos, I turn this off so that way all the numbers that I give you are actually the baseline numbers. If you forget to turn your Treasure Hunter on, if you, for example, aren't like below server Paragon, so that way you know exactly what potential a spot has. Now, obviously, as you go above server Paragon, you're going to lose XP gained. If you go below server Paragon, you're going to gain more XP, and then it's going to try to normalize you, right? So keep that in mind when you hear these numbers. Instead of leaving comments about, well, it's because of this, it's not. When I do the math for you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to negate it all, and that way you know exactly what you get. So let's go ahead and let's pull up the gameplay footage, and we'll talk about it and kind of show you exactly what I did, and show you kind of the numbers of what you can get in this location. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. As you can see here, I have pulled up the XP bar here, and it is approximately 2,879,796 is my XP that I'm gonna start with. Now, I am starting at a lower level at 230, but I'm doing this on purpose because as long as I just go up to 231, I don't change the XP bracket for each 2 levels, is keeps the same. So even though I'm going to level up, it doesn't change the modifier that's going to get applied to this XP. As you can see here, you can see the 3 other people, and they're going to be up in the diagonal side. You can see them on the right-hand side. Now, we're going to kind of stay kind of close knit like this. Eventually, we're going to kind of space out just a little bit more in this general area. But what I'm doing is I'm covering 2 spawn points right now. The other people are covering the other spawn points. And we're trying to stay somewhat connected to get the XP that's going to show up here. Now, I was fortunate enough that I did do this for about 10 minutes or so to actually get the numbers and run the data for you. I feel like 10 minutes is a pretty good round number. I actually was able to fill my bestiary, turn it in on this video, and then go back and it's halfway full again by the time I end the video. So you can see in about 10 minutes or so, I would say that that's about even, about par to fill up your bestiary, which also gives you more bonuses, right? It's going to give you some more battle pass bonuses if you aren't already maxed out. In my case, I did not claim that bonus for this video, so I kind of lost that additional XP to show in the calculations, but it is there in general because I did go ahead and go teleport and claim it. However, the battle pass points I did not claim. Now, the other thing I did notice too is this area seemed to be pretty plentiful with goblins as well as even elites. It felt kind of refreshing to come in this area and go ahead and, you know, smack down on some enemies and farm up. Because as you can see here, I was under server Paragon and it made this feel very quick. This wasn't a long grind that like you would normally feel when you're kind of grinding this kind of content. Normally when you do these open world farms, it's kind of boring. I mean, most of the time you just watch something else. You go do something else while you're kind of farming around, moving around the joysticks, whatever the case may be. This area, not terrible. It's definitely something that you could do easily, but it was kind of nice because I would see constant elites and goblins that would show up, go and attack them. And even more so actually after recording this video than when I did while recording this. I got a little unlucky on that case here, but it is what it is, and it actually worked out well because we gained a level very quickly. And as you can see, the amount of loot that's dropping because of the amount of enemies that you just destroy over here is just insane. You can see there, I went ahead, I filled up my bestiary, so now it's time to go ahead and portal out. So I will do that here in just a second. And actually, if you have a better knit group, you can get higher kill streaks on this. I was able to do that with another group than this current one that I'm recording on, but I feel like this is kind of more average per, like par the course or something like that compared to a lot of others, because people don't really tend to take full advantage of the max efficiency like some of us would back in the day, right? So as you can see here, I let this go for a little bit, mainly just because, well, now we have a kill streak and I don't want to drop this for my teammates because I don't want them to sacrifice, because once you hit that 100, that's the threshold. After 100, you don't actually gain any more additional XP. But once you hit that 100 mark, that is the golden number. So that way you kind of plateaued on your multiplier for your kill streaks. As you can see here, I knew it was about to run out, so I went ahead and I teleported out and went and did my bestiary. Now, the nice thing is, because this is such a tight-knit area, it was pretty easy for my teammates not to feel like I abandoned them or that me being missing was a hindrance to them, so to speak. It was more of I just wasn't there, right? The other thing is obviously we're running a 4-person party. That does make a big difference because you get more drops from your normal gyms, right? Which is definitely a currency everyone needs to be taking full advantage of. But as you see here, we're, what is this, about 4 minutes or so into this recording of the 10-minute run here. I go ahead and I obviously get rid of all my stuff. I got to salvage quickly. I go ahead and do my bestiary. And then I will go ahead and teleport out. Now, you see there, I did level up with that bestiary, which was nice. However, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hop right back to it because I know at this point I'm recording. And that's what I would expect a lot of you watching this video would do, right? So we go ahead and we teleport out. We're going to go right back into the feel of things. And you'll see at the end of the video, I will actually pop up the XP that I got. And then I'll go ahead and I'll get into a lot of the map. For now, you can see on the right-hand side. And what I'll do is I'll probably cut it here. I'll speed up the gameplay for a second and then go ahead and come back and do some of the math as well so that we guys know exactly what I got. All right, so I didn't want to go ahead. I didn't realize I did not record that for very long on the last screen, so it's going to be kind of brief. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to do the math now and kind of talk over the rest of this video. And I'll just shorten it up to kind of match this, right? But basically, the gist of things, as you can see here on the, what is this, on the right-hand side, you can see that I started this whole entire endeavor with 2,879,000 experience. Now, to figure out the difference of this, I did level up, right? So it means I'm actually going to end on a number that is 652,191. So what you're going to do is you're going to subtract that. So you're going to go ahead and we're just going to subtract that out of the equation here. So if I go minus 652,191, you'll see that that is a sum of 2,227,605. That is what I actually got XP wise for that 10-minute segment, which is awesome. But unfortunately, you do have to remember that this is with a 140% bonus. Now, those of you watching, this is the important math section of this, where a lot of people miss this portion of the video and then kind of rage at me like, oh, that's false advertising. I'm not. So 1.4 would be the equivalent of 140%. So So if you were to multiply something by that, that would give you the bonus difference. However, if you want to reverse engineer it, right, you wouldn't multiply by 1.4 to get the number. You would actually divide by 1.4, and that would reduce the average, that number, right? So if we actually take this number and we divide this by 1.4, because we have a 140% multiplier, and that's including the underserver paragon, and that's including the current bonus going on. This means that we got an additional 1.5 million XP per the 10 minutes because of that multiplier. Now that does get divided by 10, and you can figure out, you can actually do the math to figure out what bonus you got per minute, so on and so forth. I'm not going to bore you with all that, so let's go ahead and let's finish off the rest of the math. So let's go ahead and just subtract from this number here. We will go ahead and subtract the 2,227,605, which is what we had here. This leaves us a grand total of 636,000 XP experience that we got in 10 minutes. So now at this point, we need to divide this by 10. That gives us our per minute math. So we gained 63,645 experience per minute in this location without treasure hunter. That would be flat if you were current to server paragon level. Now let's go ahead and figure that out. What is that per hour? Because I don't think 36,000 well, we'll say 33 or 63 and a half, we'll call it, or so, 1,000 XP per minute isn't really a great metric. Who cares? Let's talk about what actually gets applied to your character. So really, what is the levels per hour? A level is what, 3.5 million. So really, let's figure out what it is per hour. So let's go ahead and let's multiply this by 16. This means this area actually yields you 3.8 million XP per hour, which is just a smidge less. It's about 300,000 less than what that spot in the library gives you. So definitely keep that in mind when you're coming to Oasis, because I know I saw a lot of comments in my comment section that are like, no. Oasis is the best spot. Library is a good one, but Oasis is the best. So actually in my 10-minute testing, Mark, I found that it varied. Now, there are a lot of aspects that go into this, right? Notice that with my particular group, we never hit major kill streaks, right? Never major kill streaks. So that changes the dynamic. Whereas on other spots, if you can get that chaining and go further, you get an additional XP boost, right? So there are some aspects to be covered when talking about this, but overall, the fact that we didn't really chain a whole lot. On top of that, I did teleport out from my bestiary. It's maybe probably a little longer than what it could have taken, and then I teleported back and then hobbled back into it. There are some things that this could have gone a little bit better, so I would say this is about uneven, honestly, to library. So I would put both the library spot that I just showed you at the very beginning of the video, as well as this spot, pretty much on par to be even. So if one of these spots is taken, I would definitely revert back, go to see the other one. If you're curious what spot I'm talking about, I will go ahead and the link will be somewhere up in the top right of the video where I'll actually have that video pop up. So that way you can go check that spot out as well. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope this helped you with your open world farming. And if it did, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.